Sea lamprey. The lamprey has survived for over 340 million years. Not because it's fast, not because it's smart, because it found a method and never needed to change it. It starts blind, buried in river sediment for years. Then eyes form, teeth grow. A suction disc takes shape. It finds a fish, locks on, and secretes an enzyme that stops the blood from clotting, so it can keep feeding. A single lamprey consumes over 40 pounds of fish before it's done. It returns to freshwater spawns and dies. Salmon louse. Salmon louse is a parasite that turns a fish into a living feeding ground. It doesn't hide inside. It stays on the surface and fully exposed, attaching itself to the skin, locking in place with tiny hooks, and then it starts feeding, slowly tearing through tissue, consuming mucus, skin, and blood. The damage builds over time, open wounds, infection, weakness, and the fish can't do anything to remove it. In the wild, a few might survive, but in crowded environments, it spreads fast. One parasite becomes dozens, and the fish slowly becomes a host covered in them. Anisakis. Anisakis doesn't choose its host, it drifts. It starts as an egg released into the ocean by a whale. That egg hatches, the larva gets eaten by krill, the krill gets eaten by a fish, and inside that fish, it waits, coiled in the muscle still. Patient, it can stay there for years, waiting for the fish to be eaten by a marine mammal. That's when it finally arrives, at where it needs to be. But sometimes, the fish ends up on a plate instead, raw, undercooked, and Anisakis enters a human gut, tries to burrow through the walls, and triggers the immune system into a full response. Cymothoa exigua. Cymothoa exigua is one of the only parasites on Earth that replaces an organ, while the host is still alive. It starts small, entering through the fish's mouth, searching for one specific place, the tongue. Once attached, it begins feeding on blood, slowly cutting off the supply until the tongue dies. But it doesn't stop there, because instead of leaving, the parasite takes its place. It anchors itself inside the mouth and becomes a fully functional tongue. The fish keeps eating normally, completely unaware, and every time it feeds, so does the parasite. Sacculina. Sacculina doesn't just feed on its host, it takes over. It starts as a tiny larva, drifting until it finds a crab. Then it sheds its shell, inserts itself through a single bristle, and disappears inside. From there, it grows tendrils, slowly spreading through the crab's stomach, intestines, nervous system. The crab can no longer molt, can no longer reproduce, but it doesn't die. It just keeps eating, feeding two bodies now without knowing it. And when Sacculina is ready to release its eggs, it forces the crab to climb to the surface and scatter them as if they were its own. A parasite that doesn't consume its host, it wears it. Gnathide parasite. Gnathide parasite is a parasite that feeds like a ticking cycle over and over again, but not all at once. It starts as something almost invisible, a tiny larva, drifting through the water, looking for a host. When it finds a fish, it attaches and begins to feed, slowly filling its body with blood, expanding as it feeds, until it can't hold any more. Then it lets go, drops back into the ocean, and disappears. But it's not over, because after digesting, it comes back again, feeding multiple times on different hosts, a small parasite that turns every encounter into a cycle of feeding.